Okay, why is it dinging?
It just went from off air to on air.
All right, now let's see if I can invite everybody like I'm supposed to. That is the one place where it still seems to want to hang up on me is when I put in the circle. And I'm guessing that's something that's not going to be solved until I get some more RAM or something. Because for some reason I can't find that spot without using the tab and shift tab. I can't go to it with the come on. Okay,
Notification
I
just
just
popped up that you invited people.
all right. We're getting better. Hello, everybody. This is Maxwell Ivy from the Midway Marketplace. That's midwaymarketplace.com or mr-midway.com. And I once again need to apologize for the entrance here. It's not as smooth as I would like it, but if you were here for any of the previous 3 weeks, you know that it could have been a lot worse. It seems to be even after I solved the conflict with my system backup, it still seems that the memory or processor on my laptop is just a bit overtaxed to run the screen reader properly and the video conferencing. But we did much better this week, didn't we, Mitchell?
That we did.
Okay, it didn't take but what, maybe 3 or 4 minutes this time instead of 15.
Looks like 2 minutes.
All right, that's major improvement. And like I said, I want to welcome everybody to the weekly hangout with Mr. Midway, Max Ivy. This week, I don't know if they're going to get here or when, but the goal of this week's hangout is to discuss the crowdsourcing Indiegogo campaign to raise funds for the YouTube video show, and more specifically, the new logo that I'm been working on, trying to get something that still says Midway Marketplace, but that's catchier and more marketable. So when we ask people to donate money in exchange for stuff with my images on it, it'll be something that they'd be proud to own, or something they would at least be willing to tolerate owning. So I've been working with Kelly Corbin from, well, I don't know what the name of her company or her website is, but she's associated with the MVP network. That's Brian the Hammer Jackson and his people over at Blog Talk Radio. And she's the one who actually did the logo that's currently on the website right now. And everybody says that it's a very good logo. I've yet to have anybody that can find fault with it, other than a couple of really hardcore SEO, search engine optimization people say it's too large. But other than that, if that's the worst they can say about it, then it's pretty dang good. And she's a real sweet lady. She's helped me out a lot with the website and the logo. And she sent a couple of samples over, and in a little bit I'm going to put them up using the screen share and see if we can't get some discussion going. Did Chelsea or Eric make it in yet, or is it just us?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you think I need to send another invitation, or do you think we're okay?
We should be okay.
All right. Because I have no way of knowing how many went out or who, so that's why I was checking. Just want to cover a couple of items of good news that I wanted to share with people. I've talked to other people when they first started their websites about how hard it is to generate traffic, to get your page views up where you want them to be. And I think I told you that if I didn't like you so much, I could hate you because of how quickly your site's been found. I think I said that to you, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Just want to make sure it wasn't something in the back of my mind that I didn't say. When I first started,
that too.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Stopped after I mentioned it here.
Well, that's good.
I think I got people here, and that's it.
Well, hopefully people are going to realize, hey, if you come on the Midway Marketplace's show, you're going to get traffic, and then we'll start getting more people wanting to come on. That's the way this thing works.
We can hope.
Well, yeah, I can hope. When I first started out, I was happy if I could get a couple of hundred visitors a month. And up until over a year ago, a good month was 15,000 page loads. I did 19,200 December of 2013, and I couldn't, I was falling over myself. It was that good. Thanks to blog commenting, some friends out there that have helped push my site, some opportunities to guest post and to be interviewed on a podcast, being on the radio show, all this different stuff that I've done to promote the site. This month, right now we're at just a little over 72,000 page loads for the month of April, which is a 30-day month. Let's not forget. I'm getting cheated today here. 72,000 page loads. Now the visitors and visits didn't come up. They actually went down a little. So what's happening is that the people that are visiting are looking at more stuff. Last month we almost broke 10,000 visitors and almost 25,000 visits. Right now we're at about 9,300 visitors, and looks like we're going to break 25,000 visits. So the people that have come are coming more often and looking at more pages. So I wish I had checked my bounce rate before I came on. I meant to do that to see, because usually the more stuff people look at, the lower that's going to be. So I think that if I check my bounce rate, I would find out that it's probably one of the lowest it's been in a long time right now. But I say when I checked that, I'm like 72,000. That's, if you project that out of a year, that's almost 850,000 for a year. And when it comes to advertising revenue, there's not a lot of hard data online about what you can charge for a banner ad. But what I have found over the last few years is that they use a thing called clicks per million, which is the Latin million or the Spanish million. It's really clicks per thousand, but they say CPM. And right now it would be like 850, 900 CPM for the year coming, as if you could project it out, if it would hold steady. The one thing I have found is anywhere from $1 to $2.50 a year per CPM for a 180 by 150 banner ad. So bring on the advertisers. We got the traffic. Now we just need somebody to pay for it. How's your site been doing as far as visitors? Is it still improving since the first couple of weeks you went online with it?
I have had two visitors in the last week, so no, not really. Eric joined us, by the way.
All right. I hope you got to hear the good news. I hope that's not something wrong with his mic, because that doesn't sound good. But as I was telling Mitchell, tonight we're going to look at some potential new logos for the Indiegogo campaign. So in a little bit here, I'm hoping that at least one other person will show up before I do it. But in a little bit here, I'll put them up on the screen share, Lord willing. And at least you guys can tell me what you think about them. And so far, my brother Patrick, he likes the first one better. He says the second one makes me look like I'm trying to be the king of the world. My brother Michael, who's a graphic artist, says he likes them both just as well. So, trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not, but we now have 2 firm commitments as far as places that we can visit as part of the 12-week series of shows that we want to do for the first season of the Midway Marketplace's YouTube channel. We have the Hog Wild Family Entertainment Center in Conway, Arkansas, and now we have the Schoepner Shows Family Amusement Company from Los Angeles, California, and they've invited us to come visit them while they're in Las Vegas the first 3 weeks of July. So we got 2, now we just need 10 more. And if anybody out there that's watching this has friends or family on a carnival or that work at an amusement park, a theme park, even a themed restaurant, or like here in Houston, we have Traders Village that's a flea market with amusement rides. You know, if you work there or have friends and family, you know, it may just take somebody who knows somebody asking, and I would certainly appreciate any help anybody out here can give me as far as getting in contact with the people that make those decisions so we can fill out the rest of those 12 weeks. And while she told me not to mention her name on the Hangout because she doesn't know if it's generally the practice of Indiegogo, but when I went to Indiegogo to fill out the campaign application, I had a lot of trouble using my screen reader with it, and I sent them a what do you call it, a ticket explaining my problem, and they wrote me right back and said, we apologize, we're always continuing to make it easier for people with disabilities to use our site, and they put me with a person who's going to who has volunteered to personally help me through the process. So now I just got to get the images and figure out the gifts we want to give people for whatever contribution numbers we want to set. It seems like they start as low as $2, and they had pre-set blanks for up to $100. But it also had a thing in there where you could click to create additional ones. So I'm guessing you could put any amount you want to in there. I don't know what we would give somebody if they gave us $100, but maybe you guys have some ideas. Looks like we got another person joined us.
No, that would be messages going back and forth.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Sorry.
One of these days, we really got to set some different tones so the blind guy knows what the heck is going on here.
One of these days.
One of these days. One of these days. Yeah, we'll put that on the list.
On the list.
Okay. Well, I think what I need to do now is go ahead and show you guys the first image. Like I say, Lord and technology willing. Oh, I almost can't believe it. Okay, here we go, guys. That should be displaying an image for you guys.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. This is the first one, and this is the one my brother Patrick likes best of the two. And no, guys, I can't show you both at the same time. I can barely show you one at a time. If I wish I had sent them to somebody to maybe have them merged into one big image. That would have been a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Possibly, yes. For sharing,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sharing, I know. We'll just do the best we can, and after the show's over, I'll be sure to put the pictures in the blog post so people can look at them over there. So what do you guys think of this one? I don't know about having two different images of Carnival in the thing, but like I said, my both of my brothers say it's they don't see anything really wrong with it, except maybe it needs to have a little more Photoshop magic done to it or something. What do you guys think?
Quick heads up, Eric had to leave. He said he had work to do, so it's back
Well,
down to just me.
well, I can't fault a guy for working, you know. As long as I'm not paying anybody to show up, if they have other work, they need to go do it. So if that's good. I'm glad he's busy, and I hope it's something fulfilling he's doing. All right, so you've done some media promotional work with Cafe Barnabas and some other people. What do you think of the first image?
I think it's a good banner image. It looks like a nice business card logo that it's very professional.
Okay, what would you think if you were personally being asked to buy something or pay and in exchange receive something with that image on it?
I wouldn't put this image on a T-shirt by any means.
Okay.
It's like I said, it looks straight off of a business card. So
Okay. Well,
it has a professional image, maybe a mug,
okay. Well, the
but
lady that
too much text for a T-shirt.
yeah, see, I thought the same thing when Patrick was reading it to me, and we can work with the text part of it. I think the real problem is she was trying to get the image right, and so we can cut way down on the text. Um, that's that. If the image is something we can work with, the text is, I imagine, is a lot easier to fix than images. I imagine.
Yes.
I don't do none of this work, so I'm just guessing. But part of the problem here is that I wasn't really sure what text I wanted on it myself. So I'm thinking what she probably did is she probably just grabbed the text right off of my header. And of course, me and Kelly have talked about this. This has got to be one of the most difficult projects she's ever been involved in because she's working with a guy who can't see her work and can only go so far as to telling her what he wants out of her work. So it's an unusual situation. Luckily, we're looking at doing the merchandise on a drop ship basis. You don't have to pre-order it like you would have a few years ago. So it's not like we have to prepay for a bunch of merchandise based on this logo. But you think it'd be good on a mug and maybe something like
maybe even a mouse pad.
maybe even a mouse pad, but not good for a shirt because there's too much text.
Right.
All right. Well, that's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to get feedback from people who can actually see it and maybe give me some suggestions to take back. I was also hoping that that Kelly would make it into the Hangout. I'm wondering. Let me click and send her an email. And then after I send her the email, maybe she'll get on here with us and okay, maybe she'll get on here with us. Okay, now let me see if I can bring up the other one she sent me. Okay, here we go. And it should be loading any time. This is the second one she sent me. Did it load?
Yeah, it loaded.
Okay. What do we think of the second one, Mitchell?
It has the same basic look. The only difference being that the amusement park from your website is no longer in the middle of the text. It's a globe instead, which I think it does help the fact that you are global, and that gets that idea across. I mean, unless you want the picture on the T-shirt to be a globe with Mr. Midway wrapped around it, I'm not seeing much to work with.
Okay, all right. Well, what are some things that you would suggest be in the image so I can at least. I'm guessing that other than the text, you like the first one better than the second one?
I think so.
And
I'm still not sure. I did see when you posted these online the other day. I looked at them for a while.
yeah,
Um,
my brother Michael had two suggestions, and I'm not real crazy about either one of them. Mainly, his first suggestion was he said maybe you could do something where uh, where you actually sign the image. And of course, my first response to that was, "Have you seen my handwriting?" I don't exactly know how I would sign something where it would be pretty enough that they would want to do something. But that was one suggestion that Michael had. His other suggestion was is it needs to have some brighter colors to it. So I don't know. Um, I wish we had a couple more people here with some that could help us get to the to get to where what we really want with the image, you know. And uh, I'm gonna click back over, and if somebody else shows up, I can always put the images back up again later.
okay.
Um, I will say this much: at least we have our first efforts to look at, and it's obviously not perfect, but at least it's given us a place to start, which is something we didn't have last week. So,
This is true.
and with given your schedule, it wasn't like you had the time, and given my skills, it wasn't like I was going to come up with it. So, um,
Well,
what we
this
really
is
need to do is come up with some things that we think would make what we already have in the first one uh, better, or possibly some things that maybe I didn't think to mention to the artist that would give them a better idea of what to do if they're going to go back to square one. I know at one point Kelly was looking for a roller coaster image because she wanted to try something with the Mr. Midway stretched out on the roller coaster cars. But she said the only roller coaster picture she could find had so many lines and angles to them that she didn't think it would reproduce well. And I sent her all the roller coaster images I have on my laptop because even after I'm through working on a ride, I usually keep the images mainly because a lot of times those images were in blog posts and I like to have them if I ever need them again. So I sent her the pictures I had, but I didn't have a lot of roller coaster pictures. Um, the one I had is of that Mad Mouse coaster, which was quite a bit old, and the other ones I have are a portable coaster. I don't know if it's quite big enough for what she wants, but I do know that roller coasters are one of those things. There are a lot of people who are fans of coasters, so that might be a good idea. I don't know. I really just don't know. Uh, okay. Do you have any news from your end for this week?
unfortunately not. It's been a
Well,
busy week, and I haven't gotten much of anything done.
well, that's just the way it goes. Some weeks. Some weeks it seems like you get lots of stuff done, and sometimes it feels like you're running in quicksand, or and you get nothing accomplished. But have you had any more thoughts about the stuff we would do for people? I think we had talked about mouse pads, mugs, shirts, and DVD covers for the where they would get the first season of the shows on DVD. Um, I don't know if y'all are noticing that on screen or not, but my dog has decided that she wants some attention.
Your logo is still up there, Max. We
The
can't
what?
see it.
Oh, you
Your
can't see.
logo is still up.
The logo is still up there, huh? That's funny because last week, if you remember, every time I switched back from wherever the screen share was, um, it was um, it went away.
Hmm.
No, we don't want to stop the broadcast. I can't find anything over there to close the image down. Um, okay, well, I just re-invited Kelly, the lady who did the logos, just in case we can get her to come on with us and maybe we can kick it around. I sent her an email and had I had heard from her through LinkedIn earlier today, and she said she was going to make a point to be here. So
All
uh,
right.
I should mention that she is doing this on her own time, and she's not currently being paid for it. So it's not like I can be too much of a demanding ogre tyrant slash taskmaster kind of person. So I appreciate when people do stuff for me, and she did eventually come up with a good logo for the website. So I think if we can just tell her more about what we need, that she will come up with something good for the Indiegogo campaign.
I don't doubt it. What we're asking of her is very difficult. Part of the reason I didn't jump straight on it, because on top of everything else that's going on, coming up with a logo like this is kind of difficult.
Yeah, and if I remember right, right this minute, your computer, you're kind of short of tools for a job like this as
Just a
well, aren't
little
you?
bit. I have Microsoft Paint, I believe. That's about it.
Yeah, I can remember Paint. We had it on my desktop, but that was because the whole family was using it. So
Well, it came default on the original Microsoft machines.
yeah, well, one time I was using a Windows computer. I ran what they call JAWS for Windows, which is the number one software for putting screen reading on Windows computers. But the problem was is at the time I was still traveling and needed a laptop, and we couldn't find a laptop that would stand up to the screen reader and not break. Um, we eventually found out that the only way it would have worked would have been to have installed a external sound card, because at that time the computers that were being made, the sound cards just weren't anywhere near the quality they are now, because at that time computers weren't seen as gaming platforms like they are now. So we kept breaking motherboards and processors trying to run a screen reader on a laptop. That's when I finally went to Apple. And if Apple hadn't come out with their decision to start embedding a screen reader in their operating system, I'd probably still be trying to fight with Windows. I'm probably one of the few Apple users that isn't Apple all the way. If I were to own a tablet or a cell phone, it probably wouldn't be an Apple unless that was just the only way I could get it with speech. So yeah, I figured you were a little busy to be taking on the project of the logo, and I think we could go ahead and post the logo to the campaign and still change the logo at a later point. because they allow you to upload more than one logo. They also allow you to do videos, which reminds me of something I was going to mention. Every once in a while, I do that. They encourage people to record up to 3 minutes of video to be submitted. They say that it's like everything else out there now, that the campaigns with video get much better response than the campaigns with just images. So over the weekend, I'll be recording a video, and I was thinking that for people out there who aren't in a position to contribute or who just don't see themselves as contributing, that perhaps they might be willing to record a video and put it on their channel, or at least promote the video and the rest of the campaign that we have. I think that I've got more than a few friends out here online who might be willing to record a couple of minutes to help me get the money to make this thing happen. We'll find that out, I'm sure, and that may be an opportunity to do some collaborative videos. I know there's some people I have sent emails to about doing collaborations, but haven't really had a good idea for one. So this might, be something that would work for. I know also when I record the video for Indiegogo, that they now let you upload videos to LinkedIn, so I'll be uploading the video there too. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to send you the link and see if you could upload it to your LinkedIn account and maybe get your dad to do the same.
All right, I can see what I can do.
Okay. There won't be any singing. It'll just be me talking, okay?
Okay.
All right. It'll be totally professional.
All right.
I only sing because it keeps me from being nervous. And I have yet to figure out how to make a stock intro so I don't have to record a new one every week.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I saw a post on Twitter today from YouTube creators talking about how to upload a stock intro. I'm going back to find that post now.
Yeah, that's another thing that I got to do. I keep forgetting to record the trailer for the YouTube account. I got to do that. I think I'll ask Seth to help me. He's pretty good with our camera, and that might be something he'd have some good ideas for. But they give you the option of having the trailer, and it's a shame to have an opportunity like that and not be using it. So I got to do that. I think I'm just going to have to sit down and record like 3 or 4 short videos for the different things I need them for. I think for the trailer it's supposed to be what, like less than a minute? 30 seconds.
Say again?
For your YouTube trailer, those are supposed to be like only 20, 30 seconds, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And for Indiegogo, they recommend less than 3 minutes. So I have been told by a lot of people that I ought to be happy that I'm getting as many views as I am, considering the length of my videos. That we're generally looking at 10 to 15 minutes, and that I'm getting a lot of views for them to be that long. I generally only average about 5 to 6 minutes per view of people that people actually watch of the videos, but even that's is a pretty good percentage, considering the way that the Calliope Corner videos were created. But there was a post on Twitter today about creating intros for your YouTube channels.
Yes, unfortunately,
from the people at YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
According to this article, it can only be 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Yeah. At this point in time, it was released today. A 3-second intro can be added, so when you upload a video, it automatically plays that 3-second intro.
All right. Well then, where do I'm guessing those 30-second to minute-long commercial videos that play before I watch other people's videos are because they have monetization set up, right?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. Because I keep seeing those ads for start your new website at HostGator for a penny. that one, I get that one a lot. I don't know how they select the video, the commercials you get before you watch a video, but I wish it was a little more random. That and the fact that the last time I used AdSense, they actually put ads on my website for other brokers is the reason why I don't use AdSense.
That could be awkward.
Yeah, I know. They were putting ads for people who sold rides on a website that sells rides. I was not happy. So, and you receive such, for the kind of traffic I was generating at that time, you receive such a small return on the space that it's almost not even worth bothering with. I mean, until you start generating a lot of traffic and you can generate a lot of clicks, a lot of views and click-throughs, you don't see hardly any money out of them people at all. I think I still have an account with them that's still got money in it that I've yet to claim because it wasn't worth turning it in on the taxes. Uh, well, we had 3 weeks in a row where we had at least 3 people on here with us,
Yes, we did.
and I know, and you verified that the invites went out, so maybe our regulars this week are watching the basketball playoffs. I don't know.
Oh, is that going on?
Yeah, that's going on. Right now, I'm probably missing the opportunity to watch my Rockets lose again. So it could be. It's not really a problem for me because I live in a city where the last time a team won a championship, they were the Houston Aeros, and they left town for Wisconsin. The Houston Aeros minor league American Hockey League hockey team won three Calder trophies in 5 years, and they couldn't make a living here, so they left town for Iowa or Wisconsin or somewhere where they get snow and ice. And I'll be shocked if the Rockets lose tonight. I'll have to apologize to somebody, but it's not like any of the other fans will think I was wrong thinking it. The first week I did these hangouts, I came on at 7 o'clock, and people told me not to do that anymore because that put me on against Survivor.
That is some competition. Not for me, but
Yeah, and I have actually wondered if maybe we shouldn't at least consider doing this on a different day of the week, but I know that Wednesday at 9 o'clock is a very good time for you. I've wondered if maybe we should try a different day one week just to see if it improves our chances, but I'm not sure which day would be better to go to. Although with the fall spring network television season wrapping up, maybe just about any day except for well, I guess in some parts of the country, Survivor doesn't come on at 7; it comes on later, depending on where you live. I don't know. But I am open to making changes in the time and the day of the week if it'll get us more viewers and more participation. So if you have some suggestions on that, or if you have some ideas during the week after we're through.
I'm thinking any night, well, besides Sunday night, would work for me.
Okay.
The latest I work is 8, and that's on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays I clock out, run and grab something to eat, and run home so I can log on and be here.
Okay. I will think about it and let you know, and maybe some people that watch this after we're through or that get the post after the show will have some thoughts on it, how we can do that. just need to keep doing what we're doing as far as to get some more viewers and some more subscribers. So
Paul Graham is attempting to log in. He is waiting for plugins to install.
well, cool. I wasn't sure Paul was going to show up. Last I heard, he was traveling in Washington State, maybe. And and he asked me to send him the images, and I was going to send them to him, but I couldn't find his email address. So I put on the Hangout thing. I said if anybody would like me to send them to him before the show, to send me their email address or send me a blank email, and I would make sure they got them. So, but I should be able to bring those up again. I'm surprised. It actually shows you that he's waiting on plugins to load, or did he send you a message?
He posted it in the comments.
Okay. Have there been any comments that we should address while we're waiting on him to try to get in here?
He is the only comments that I've seen.
Okay. Did he have any comments that'll help us until he gets logged in?
Here, let me pull that back up.
Okay.
I pulled up the Hangout just to see, and I was like, oh hey, look, there's comments.
Hey, we're getting comments. That's something.
All of them are Paul.
All of them are Paul. Oh, I
see the image.
He's a very loyal follower of the Midway Marketplace, the Midway's blog, the podcast. Basically, he supports me just about 100%. He's kind of like an Apple guy, except I'm not Apple. So, and I really appreciate it. So, are you with us? Are you with us, Paul?
Not yet. Still
Not
waiting.
yet. Okay. All right. Well, that's the way it is with the. I'm going to go ahead and put the first logo back up on the screen.
Okay.
So it'll be there.
There.
When he gets in here, because it does take me a little bit to actually get it to do what I want it to do. So,
according to the comments, he's already seen them. So.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to have him come in here in the middle and have not seen them. So. I don't know if you remember the television show, The Designing Women, where the 4 women had the interior design company in Atlanta.
No.
Okay, it was in the 80s. In their last season, they had a guest on there who was blind, and they had the discussion about how do you design a home for somebody who can't see it. So this is, it has to be a little weird for everybody trying to help me design a logo. Who knows? Maybe that's what the title of this Hangout recap should be. Get it right. Get the keywords out there right up in front. So maybe we'll get more reaction and some more input. That's one of the things I'm not real good at yet is creating titles for my posts. And I would like to mention this week's blog post. It's a 9 things that you should do to make your experience as a guest author or podcast guest a better experience. And Lorraine regularly helped me edit it. It's one of the prettiest blog posts that I've ever had because I didn't depend strictly on my own editing skills. It has the bullet list like it's supposed to. The headers are there. She even went online and found some additional links to include to some other articles that go in with points I was making. So, really good piece of work. And if you go over to the site, just click on the blog. It'll be the first post there, and I'll probably put a link to it in the YouTube video description just so people can find it. But I've been really surprised. This is it seems like every time I write a post thinking I'm just writing this to tell people what it was like doing it as a blind person and that maybe it'll help some other blind people, I get these posts from sighted computer users and bloggers and podcasters who say, you know, I really learned a lot from this. I was really inspired by this. So, and they usually turn out to be the posts that get the most traffic, the most comments, and most shares. So, which is nice, but the goal of the site is to sell stuff. So I just have to remind myself that every bit of traffic is good traffic. There's no such thing as bad traffic. And all those people who come to the site to read about me and follow my story and support me with their comments are improving the numbers so I can be found easier by people who are ready to buy or sell equipment. So I need to get some more people into the Google Hangouts on Air circle. Can you move one person over for me for next week, Mitchell?
Yes, I can. What do you need?
Okay, his name is Mark or Marcus Brumberger. His thing is Carnival. His thing is Carney Town. It's a social media site for people in the amusement industry, and he added me on Google today, and I don't know why I didn't think to add him to the Hangout on Air circle because him and his site have been real good friends to the Midway, and he's a interesting guy, got a lot of experience in the amusement business. So I think he would probably come on here eventually. He probably wouldn't be on every week, but I need to get him added to the Hangout circle.
Okay.
And as I'm trying to kill time and give Paul a chance to get in here, I thought I'd mention that today I got a call from a fellow who was looking to buy some bunkhouses for his animal shows. And his name is Bill Comerford, and they work primarily the East Coast with elephants and other live animal attractions. And he has agreed to be interviewed for the blog. Going to be sending him my first set of questions for the blog post later today, and I'm hoping I can eventually talk him and his partner into doing at least some of it by Skype or a video hangout. We'll just have to wait and see what they're willing to do or what they can do, because even nowadays in the U.S., when you travel like they travel, you're not always going to have 3G wireless capability where you can do a video call. I have friends even now who sometimes have trouble getting their voicemail if they're in the wrong part of the country.
This is true.
We have a town here in Texas called Center that back when I was still traveling, we went to it every year. And I made a joke about it one year because I had young nephews and nieces that were watching. I was watching a lot of cartoons with them, and I watched the Wonder Pets. And on there, they get their orders through a old style tin can string phone. The last time I was in Center, I told people this town's so far out of anywhere that even the Wonder Pets couldn't get service here. The kids laughed.
That's a joke that they understood.
Yeah, they understood it, but
it looks like Kelly just sent across a message.
Cool.
Saying hi, Max, about a minute ago.
Well, can you message her back and tell her that I'm still here and that I'm willing to hang on a little past the hour if we can get her on here to kick around some stuff on the logo she sent?
Let's see if she's still there.
See if she's still there.
She popped up in the text conversation, but not the video conversation.
Huh. Okay. This is probably more than it's easy to send, but if she doesn't want to be seen on camera, she could always turn the camera off and just go with the mic.
I'm guilty of doing that sometimes.
Well, I understand it's a woman thing, so I mean.
Oh, hey now. Hey now. I just admitted to being guilty of it. You say it's a woman thing. Thanks.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do anything because you are the moderator and the engineer that makes this train run. So I don't want to get on your bad side.
It takes a lot, Max. It takes a lot to get on my bad side. You're nowhere near it.
That's good. That's good. Somebody told me the other day they're now coming out with phones that will eventually be able to project images in 3D, and I'm like, okay, that'll be lots of fun. The first thing people will have to do is figure out how to turn it off.
There's a power button on almost everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Back when my family still had a carnival before we went out of business and I started working with my uncle, we had a guy who traveled with us for several years that had a live snake show with boa constrictors, rattlesnakes, some other venomous snakes. And one winter, to try to balance out the season, so we worked in the winter instead of staying home and working on equipment. We traveled with Otto Barasini's One Ring Circus down in South Texas one winter. He had a heck of a show. He had a thing where he would work with 4 different kinds of cats all in one cage at the end of the show, and he used to pick a tiger up on his back. Hey, we got some. Well, that's messages. I'm
sorry. That's me again.
No. I think I'm starting to get it. That's more of a guitar string pluck. Whereas the other noise is more of the ding that the slot machines make in Louisiana.
As long as you can tell the difference, we're good.
I'm starting to get to where I can tell the difference. Yeah. And the last time I was in a casino was like 5-6 years ago, so who knows? It may have changed the noises by now. Well, to tell you what kind of family I come from, we always decided which casino to go to by who had the best buffet.
That sounds like how I would decide that.
Yep, we would hit the buffet and then drop $20 or $40 in the machines to make sure we covered the cost of the meal, and then we'd go home. I can hear my brother starting to get ready to take the trash out, which is like the highlight of my puppy dog's week. So I hope the noise doesn't bother anybody, because since we don't have independent air conditioning in this house, I can't exactly close the door on them. Did we hear back from Kelly, or is Eric having any luck? Excuse me, Paul?
I have not heard from Paul. And Kelly and I are messaging back and forth.
Well, cool. Kelly is one of the sweetest people I know, and do you know if she was able to catch any of what we said about the logos early in the show?
She's reading the comments on the logo from Paul.
Okay. Well, just in case she's also listening, I think my brothers both thought that either one of them would be good, but Mitchell seems to think that we need to cut way down on the text in the first one to make it where it would be good for shirts. That right now it would be good for coffee mugs and perhaps mouse pads. And I told him that since I didn't really tell Kelly what text to put on there or not put on there, that you probably just grabbed what was on my header. So I think cutting down on the text wouldn't be that big a deal. I could be wrong. I'm not the graphics person, okay? But I'm thinking if working on the text might not be as hard as coming up with a whole new image. So, and I did send some pictures that I had on file of some roller coasters for you, Kelly, just in case one of them works with that other idea you were having about using the roller coaster cars. I wish I had a picture of a really good Ferris wheel instead of that globe. I think it's because several people have told me that that putting it in the center of the spokes of one of those really pretty gondola wheels might not be a bad thing. I don't know. I don't know what that would look like. I would also be afraid that some of these wheels have actually got themselves trademarked and we run into problems using the image. Okay, well, I know you guys are texting back and forth. Something else I guess I'll mention here while I'm filling some time for Mitchell is that Chelsea Stark and another lady from Atlanta named Wanda have both volunteered to be on-site, or I guess you would say area photographers for the Midway Marketplace if a carnival or a park or some attraction is going to be in their area and I need it to be photographed or videoed for the website. They've offered to do that for me, and I appreciate both of them saying yes to that. And we need to come up with a name for them. We need to come up with a page on the website for them. So if anybody out there has a suggestion as to what I can call the photographers, I'd appreciate it. And I'd like to get a page for them with links to their websites. And I'd like to get more people to volunteer. So if you are a professional or semi-professional photographer and you think it would be cool to take some pictures or some video of carnivals and other things of interest in your area for that might apply to the Midway Marketplace, I'd love to hear from you. It's midwaymarketplace.com or mr-midway.com. The email is maxwell@midwaymarketplace.com, but the email and the contact form, they're all on the website. And all my social media places are on the website, so you shouldn't have any trouble getting a hold of me if you want to be part of the photographer corps. Really need to come up with a name for them, though.
We do. I think I just did a bad thing. Kelly popped in. Well, Kelly popped in, and I went to select her profile picture to pan over on my side, and I accidentally muted her, and it won't let me unmute it.
So you muted her,
but I can't. We can't hear her if she's talking. My bad.
And there's no way I can turn it over to you and let you fix it.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is there a way that she?
How about if can she log off and log back in? Would that unmute her, or do we know?
I have no idea. I've never accidentally muted someone before.
I didn't know you even could. I thought I had to.
I didn't either.
I thought I had to give you control room privileges first, and we thought we had to do that every time we come on.
Well, I can't control anything else. I'm going through trying now. I don't have any control out of any other side.
That is totally wild.
I'm extremely sorry. Kelly, is there a way that you can unmute your mic on your end after I accidentally clicked that wrong button? I guess she can't hear me. Never mind. Or I can't hear her if she's replying.
Okay. She can hear us, but we can't hear her. This is just like first week with Eric.
I'm sorry.
No, but at least this time it wasn't my fault. That's an improvement right there.
Yeah, it was my fault this time.
I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible the first week. People were trying to get in on the Hangout, and we didn't know that we had to invite them in order for them to get in. It was crazy. So, and luckily it was only like 2 or 3 people that wanted in, or we'd have lost a lot of potential participants the first week. I tell you what, when I write the ebook about this, we're going to charge $2 for it now, man. It's already gone up from 99 cents. But you know what my dad would have said? He would have said, "Hey Max, at least you can laugh about it now." And that's true. We can at least laugh about it because we've done it before. So what did Kelly say? Did she message you back now that you've muted her?
No, not yet. I just apologized, but we're down to the last 2 minutes of the hangout.
Well, I don't think it's going to cut us off. I think that when you put the time down there, it's recommended time, not absolute. But if you think I should, what I can do is I can end this hangout and start just a regular hangout that doesn't get recorded, and we can go from there.
That's entirely up to you guys. She says she can hear us,
Okay.
but she can't see us anymore for some strange reason.
Okay, we're really off. We're really off in no man's land then. Okay, well then can she? Shoot. I really don't know what to do next.
We're together on this one.
Okay, can you ask her? Well, I guess since she can hear me, I can ask her. Have you come up with any ideas that might possibly make what you did even better since the last time I talked to you? Okay.
And she's typing.
I feel like I'm in some weird sort of 70s game show here, man.
You and me both.
But it's one of them things. You'll know better next week. Which I think we should have somebody put that to music, and that should become the theme song of this whole operation.
What, we'll get it next week?
We'll know better next week. Yeah. It's better than my first. Back when I was still traveling, when things went bad, I used to have words I was working on for a song. I never did anything with them, but the hook went, "I'm doing my best, but my best ain't never good enough." Penny?
Okay. Her
Penny
reply
wants to
real
talk.
quick.
Okay.
I haven't come up with anything new today, but I like the feedback in the letter that you sent. More color, a little more modern font instead of the carnival text.
Okay.
She's still typing.
She's still typing. Tell her okay, the feedback that I sent her, that was from my brother Michael, who used to make his living as an airbrush artist. We consider him to be fairly talented, but he is my brother. And he did put a disclaimer in there on his own that says that he's often been wrong about trends when it comes to trying to pick logos or trying to judge the effectiveness of a potential logo. So, but I'm glad that you were able to get something helpful out of his emails. I say that when this thing is done, I definitely have to do a testimonial for Kelly's website, and I think we need to just push this all over the net. How she managed to work with this guy who's totally blind and come up with something just crazy amazing. So. Well, I think we had another good show. It took less time to get the invitations sent. We had stuff to talk about. The screen share worked every time without any glitches. The invitations went out to everybody, and not as many people showed up, but it could be just the time. It could be the weather. I know that regrettably we had all those tornadoes in the southeast, so hopefully none of our viewers were affected by those. we will do better next week. I'm sure we're going to get more people watching the shows and emailing or messaging us now that they know that when they message, we actually get the messages because I got Mitchell
over here reading the comments.
Yep.
Speaking of Kelly, again, no worries, didn't know where to begin, so it's good for the feedback. I also plan to make just the logo for your t-shirts without the slogan. I do have one other picture that you may like.
Okay, well, I'm sure she'll email it to me. And I'm just happy that I haven't made anybody unhappy this week over the logo because, like I said, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing my best to try to tell people what I think should be there, but the last time I still paid attention to logos and could see them, we're talking, Pepsi Challenge, late 70s, very early 80s. So I'm not the most up-to-date person to ask about what would look good, even if we go back to when I could still see good enough to know what I thought for myself looked good. So. As one friend once told me, I'm one of the few people who can say that he goes to the Wingstop for the food.
All right, Max. She says she's going to email it to you. I need to be off for the evening. It's after
Okay.
10 o'clock. It's 10:05.
I know. We're a little late, but I want to thank you and Kelly and Paul and Eric and everybody that watched. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to do my best to make this better every week. Please send me emails, send me tweets at Ask Mr. Midway. That's AskMisterMidway on Twitter. Email me, Maxwell at midwaymarketplace.com. You can send a comment to the YouTube after this is uploaded. Be more than happy to take your questions or suggestions to make this better next week. And I want to thank you and say goodbye to everybody. Good night, y'all.
Good night.